man. Thank you guys all so much for coming on today. Obviously, as we talked about, the fun is in the winning, and that was a very, very big win for our program. In our first year, North Texas had went from the West, and we targeted them as a team we wanted to beat. 2 out of the last 3 years, UAB has won the conference, and they've been the bully, and they are a very, very good football team. So it took everybody on our football team to come up here today and find a way to win this game. It took every second on the clock, and it took great effort across the board. So super, super proud of our guys. I'm just kind of blinking the stats right now. Obviously converted some huge 4th downs, 5 of 5 on 4th down, possessed the ball for 38 minutes. And our defense did a heck of a job. When we put them back out there in the 4th quarter, they found a way to finish the game. And so again, that's what it's all about. We talked about playing for each other. We talked about green light mentality, putting your foot down and going green. And just instead of seeing yellow, instead of being hesitant because of how much you care about this game and each other, to play and play for each other. And as I said, just super proud of this coaching staff and these players for finishing this game and finding a way to beat a great UAB team. With that, I'll open up for any questions.
Let's go. First question to Mark Berman. Had your hand up.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Mike, what does it say about your team to beat UAB? Or they were unbeaten in the West, and you had to go on the road to get the win. What does this say about your program at this juncture?
You know, it just says that they were able to take another step forward that we needed to take. You know, the one thing that we were having is a little bit of a crisis of confidence. I think there's a lot of people that I think we just had lost our swagger to some degree. And you know, it's funny. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you become confident because of great play, or do you somehow fake it till you make it? And I think we did a little of both, and then we earned some confidence throughout this game. And now we got an opportunity to go 1-0 at home next week and even our record back up. And that would be outstanding for this operation.
Biggest win since you've been here?
No, I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. They're all big, and especially when they're conference on the road. I thought last year's at Marshall was huge. Yeah, I mean, this one's absolutely huge. This one means the world to me because of the way these guys have continued to prepare. They had every reason to quit, right? Like when you get beat like we did last week and you put on a poor performance after having a great week of practice, you search your soul for what's going on. And instead of doing what a lot of teams would do today, I think our coaches kept them together. I think our leadership kept them together. I had a great breakfast with our captains on Monday. I think those guys rallied everybody, and we had a great week of practice. And it still doesn't guarantee you anything. It just guarantees you your best chance. And but again, with the way these guys came out and executed today, we found a way to pull this thing off, and I'm super proud of them.
Next question.
Hey, Mike, how's your heart after going from the lowest to the highest to highs in a little more than a week?
That is this profession. It is what you sign up for when you play this game or you coach this game. It is, the highs are way too high and the lows are way too low. I certainly like coming to the presser after a win. I promise you that, and especially after a big win. Fun is in the winning. How's my heart? Everything's good. I'm still ticking and looking forward to getting back to town.
And then you talked previously about needing a full 4-quarter game from every phase. Starting from the beginner, you had that big kickoff return by Juma. You had the multiple touchdown drives by your offense. You had the turnover forced on UAB's first possession. What's kind of your mindset on the sideline as you see, you know, maybe for the first time, each phase kind of doing their part and it working out?
Happiness, right? Like, and just, I'm so proud of these guys. And I really think it came down to them freeing themselves to make plays and to play like they're capable of. I think that, you know, the team on the other sideline maybe didn't think we were worth being on the same field as them. And we showed them otherwise today. So the thing that I want to talk about, you mentioned Juma, and I don't want to go away from that. You know, we've talked about something in this program, a Buddhist word called mudita, which is happiness for others' success. And Juma Otaviano has been the king or chairman of mudita. He has been so happy for everybody else's success. He's been the ultimate practice player, the ultimate teammate. And as has Wiley Green. And, you know, I talked to him about like how he's been able to do what he's done through this year. And then they come out here today, they get opportunities and have that level of success. That makes me so proud of those two individuals in particular. But our whole team, you know, celebrating Mudita and celebrating for each other, loving everybody. It's awesome. it's great to have some success on the football field, Matthew.
And then you've been kind of hard on the coaching staff too, equally with the performance. It's gone hand in hand. You've said. What do you think, Coach Tui, the game he called today, and then the entire staff just kind of putting together a game plan that clearly worked?
Yeah, I'm proud of these coordinators. I'm proud of the position coaches. Again, it's not just about the game plans. It's not just about calling the game. It's about preparing their guys in the meeting room all week. It's about pushing their guys at practice and keeping them locked in through all the details we ask in these schemes. And it had to be. They had to be great schemes and they had to be great performances. And I thought the coaches did their part to get these guys here today. And then I think the leadership of our team really took that next step. And that's the ultimate thing that you need in this business. Like the best coaches in the world are going to be a sideline away when a play needs to be made. All of us, our playing days are over, and some of us like me were never good enough to be on a field like this. So all we do is try to prepare them, try to push them, try to lead, and then they have to go lead on game day and they have to make plays. And they did that today.
And then special teams has got a lot of fire this season. Talk about your decision for that fake punt and then the play of your special teams today.
Yeah. So the only error I can think of on special teams was missing the second PAT. And, we responded to that. And Christian Van Sickle had some great kickoffs and made the field goal attempt. And so we kind of rebounded from that in the PAT field goal game, but we're never going to be happy when we miss one. Like that team goes on the field for one reason, and that is to score. And then you talk about the fake punt. That's something Coach Monfiletto drew up, maybe a month and a half ago, maybe prior to the Arkansas game. And we called it a few times and it wasn't the right look. So we checked out. And then we got to it today. We called it once and had to end up checking out. We called it again and ended up getting a different look than we expected there too. So we burned a timeout and gave ourselves time to regroup against a different look. And then we got the right look there when we needed it. And it was awesome to hit that thing and to turn that drive into points.
Coach, good things have happened this year when you guys have started fast, but this time, unlike your other two wins, it wasn't a wire-to-wire victory. So how impressed were you with your response when UAB took that lead in the first quarter?
What did they take? A 14-13 lead? Is that correct, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there was any panic. And we've actually talked about that a good bit as we talk about our crisis of confidence and we talk about wanting and needing to respond. So that was a good response. It's good to go back down and to not sack your bats and just act like there's no hope. What we did is we talked about green light and we talked about playing for each other and we just kept playing football and good things happened. So yeah, that was great to see, Steve. It really was.
And then also just some of the play of Wiley Green. That looks like his best game he's had as a Rice quarterback. And I want to go back to that 3rd and 19 play where he extended it and got the first down. Just what were you seeing some of the moves out of him there and finally see it happen on the field?
Yeah. Number one, I thought he put on a clinic of how to play quarterback today. I thought it was freaking awesome. And I still don't have a end of game stats to see his numbers. 17 to 22 for 205, 77% completion, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a 200 passer rating. Yeah. So I'd say that's a pretty good clinic on how to play quarterback. That's awesome. And he had some help from his friends today, like looking at August Pete make play after play. Then the one he extended that you mentioned, he found Cedric Patterson, and still not sure why the one touchdown to Jake Bailey came off the board. I'll have to watch the film and understand that maybe a little bit better. But I thought he played his butt off, and I'm so proud of him. I don't know if you know, I got a son that thinks he's a quarterback, and I asked Wiley 2 days ago. I said, "How do I make him realize he doesn't want to be a college quarterback?" And Wiley said, "Well, it's tough at times, but it has its upside too." And today's one of those upsides for Wiley and our football team.
How kind of fitting is it? It's been an up and down journey for y'all as you've kind of taken the helm of this program. How fitting was it that Wiley was the guy today that after the big low got to be at the helm for the big high?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I guess there's some poetic justice in that somewhere. And Matthew, we're still growing as a football team. We're nowhere near a completed project. I appreciate the thought of putting Gatorade on my back for winning this game, but this is not any kind of accomplishment. This does not reach our goals. This is just a step. It's just the next step. And what we have is a chance to go 1-0 next week and even out our record and continue to pursue our goal. So this is, as we said last time we were in a situation like this is nowhere near a mountaintop experience. This is nowhere near that kind of accomplishment, but it's a great step. And especially in the 2021 football season for this 2021 football team, it's a great step.
You going to tell your team next week they're multi-touchdown underdogs? Does that seem to help?
I don't know that I love being in that situation, but our guys sure do respond. And you know what? They're just not wired to be scared of people. They're just not wired that way. So, but I don't think we have to do that. I think our leadership is going to be just fine this week to understand the work we have to put in, the process we have to go through in order to play a good football game. And then we'll understand the strain it takes to win a college football game. Again, when we have a great plan and put in the work next week and get to game day, and we have to have that strain, we'll look for that again and look for our leadership again. But you know what we say, right? Like, treat victory and defeat as the imposters that they are.
And we talked a lot about offense. I did want to ask you one question about your defense. Gave up a couple big plays, have had kind of a not as good of a season on the stat sheet as they did last year. What was kind of your thought process and going on when the game was in their hands? And what was the what was kind of your huddle moment on the sideline when you said, all right, this is on you guys to go win it?
You know, I think it was just like, hey, this is everything we want. Go win the game. Like, go find a way, get off the field. And, you know, these guys, there was a lot of, I think they broke it down on green light. And so, again, they're going forward. They're going green. And, you know, these guys believe, man. That's the cool thing. Like, they are believing in each other. I don't know how you get them there and why we couldn't have got them there sooner. But right now, these guys are believing in their own abilities. They're believing in their teammates, and they're playing good football. So, again, it's a one-game sample. We got to do it again next week, and we're going to prepare to do that.
Thanks, Mike.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach. Let's bring Wiley up.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Wiley, just as an opening statement, I mean, you've had a lot of experience in some tough games with UAB. So between the experience of this year and the past experience with UAB, what does this mean?
Not even looking back at that, as just, it means a lot for this team. We've battled through so much over the course of this year and the past 4 years I've been here. It means a lot to beat UAB. Obviously, Coach mentioned it, 2-time conference champs the past 2 years. We had a chance to get them last year. It shows you the resilience in this team, and it shows you how great these guys can be and how excited I am for the future.
Questions?
Hey, Wiley, I know we've talked about kind of the crazy journey you've had through Rice football. After being injured a couple weeks ago and having to watch this team go out, how sweet is it for you to be able to guy that gets to be at the helm for, you know, one of the biggest victories this program has had in some time?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, but you got to give props to where props are due. And that offensive line played such a great game today. Our receivers made so many great plays on the outside, making it pretty easy for me to get the ball down the field to these guys. And our coaches made such a great game plan that we were able to attack it. Coach Tui and I were able to walk through this week. And I can't tell you how confident I felt coming into this game. And one thing I talked about a lot of, especially with throughout the week, was for me, I had this verse, Galatians 1:10. It pretty much summarizes that says, don't pursue for the audience of people, but for the audience of God. So the audience of one. And that was kind of my mentality coming in this week is I'm not going to please the people or these coaches or even my teammates, but all I'm going to do is please the audience of one, and that's God. So I think that helped me a lot this week in my confidence and my preparation. So.
Not a coincidence then, this is probably the best game you've put together as a college QB?
I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it shows that, you know, a lot can come of a rough 4 years, kind of a lot of ups and downs, but if you keep your faith and you keep hammering, like great things are going to come.
And then you mentioned the team, obviously falling the way y'all did last week and bouncing back, all goals intact. How huge was it to get this win and then to do it how y'all did it and have to grind to the final second?
Yeah, I mean, it shows you how resilient this team is. Obviously, last week was tough, but the great thing about last week is we get another week, right? We're blessed to be able to play another week of this game that we all love, and we learned a lot from last week. We know we got to come out fast. We know we got to limit turnovers, something that we can do even a little bit better of today. So a lot to keep moving forward with and a lot to improve on. So going into next week to North Texas, but today we're 1-0, and starting tomorrow we'll be 0-0 and be ready to go after North Texas.
And then I wanted to ask you about your wide receivers. It seems like just about every single guy, and Jaeger, tight end in there, made a big play today. There wasn't one go-to guy that bailed you out every time. It was a different guy on every drive. You talk about that being a deep room. How exciting is that for you? Bloom talks about the excitement, the joy for others. What does that mean to you to be able to see every guy in that offense get to have some success?
I mean, you love it. You can't help but smile, but look to your left and to your right and see playmakers all over the field. It was tough when Bradley Rosner went down for us early against Arkansas, but Cedric Patterson stepped up like nobody's business, and he's made some great plays. He made a lot of great plays today. Jake Bailey, he's just one of those consistent guys you can always count on. And August Pete makes plays. Like you can't help but not count on these guys. And our tight ends are so good across the board. You know, those three guys up front with Jaeger, Jack Bradley, and Robert French, like you put those guys on the field, they're going to be able to do everything for you, block or pass. And those guys are awesome to have out there, and they're big bodies too. And I told Jaeger he's got a wedding coming up. That was my wedding present to him, getting him 2 touchdowns today. So that was pretty fun. But then like you also look in our backfield, right? You got Ari Broussard, Kalen Griffin, Cam, you just keep looking. You've got Juma, you've got Jordan Myers. Like you can put these guys in the game, and at any second they're going to break one off for you. So you got to love the weapons around you. And then you got to love that front five that, continue to keep me safe. And we're able to make plays like that.
We've talked about playing a complete game, 4 quarters. Where does this game rank among the most complete offensive performance you've seen from this team?
I'm not going to rank it just because I think we've got to learn a lot from this game and move on from it. But I think there's a lot that we did really well. And there's a lot that we can still improve on. So I'm excited for this offense and continue to move forward. But it was a pretty complete game, but nothing's perfect. So we've got a lot to improve on and continue moving forward.
I can take one more for Wiley if we got it. Otherwise, we'll move on. Anybody else? All right. Thanks, Wiley.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's call up Naeem Smith now.
Good stuff, baby. Hey guys.
Hey, Naeem. A month ago, you had to do one of these in a pretty tough situation. Just talk a little bit about the journey to get to this point tonight, and then just in the game, just the process in that game of just fighting off all the threats.
Yeah, last time, I spoke was definitely a tough time when we lost to Texas, and we really just had to dig deep as a team. Nothing has ever been perfect this season. Guys have been injured, other guys have had to step up, but I just love the resilience of our team. It was not a perfect game at all today, and at the end of the day, this was a big time win for our program, and this is something that we need to continue to snowball going forward. This is not it. I'm just looking forward to the future, this next week of practice, and just continue to get better as a team.
Questions for Naeem?
Hey, Naeem, UAB kind of had some offensive success early after that first drive stop, but late in the game, it seemed like the defense made some adjustments and was able to kind of slow things down. What was different today that you saw from the defense that was able to kind of take a breath and re-engage and kind of slam the door when they needed to?
Well, I have to give the hats off to the front seven, because I think they did a great job on trying to make UAB one-dimensional. I mean, obviously I have to watch the film, but it came to a point where like UAB had to start throwing the ball more. So just shout out to our front. They did a good job. I obviously gave up a touchdown that I did not want to give up today, but on the back end, I think that the corners and Gabe played awesome. And I mean, Chike and DJ stepped in, and Isaiah Richardson, like those guys are just awesome for being able to step in when, their name is called. And, you just got to give hats off to, the front, and then the guys just staying resilient, even though, the game wasn't perfect.
And what does it mean to you? I know you're a leader in the secondary. I don't know how many games you've played in your career with a complete, healthy, fully available secondary. Going back to the Marshall win and this win, y'all have done it. Y'all have had some big games with a bunch of guys that, maybe everybody doesn't know. How big is it for you to see some of those maybe, unsung heroes come in and win in these big moments?
Yeah, just, it's at the end of the day, we have a thing called green light mentality, and it's next man up regardless. Like, we can't just sit back and, just be sad for, there's guys out, and it's football and it sucks because, there's guys that we're missing, and, just we hope they get better, and, we all love them. But at the end of the day, like, the game's not going to stop, and we got to try to do as best as we can, get guys ready, get them reps during practice. You got to watch film on yourself, learn the playbook, and just be dedicated. And if you can do that, you're going to find a way onto the field, because at the end of the day, you need depth on a football team if you want to be good. So just really hats off to everybody on this team, not only just defensively, offensively. We have guys that are unsung heroes too that we don't even talk about a lot. And just, it's at the end of the day, football is just a team game. And if you can do it as a team, you can have success, play for each other, love on each other, because not everything's going to be perfect.
Big team win, but Rice football is 3-0 over the past 2 seasons when you get an interception. How cool is it to be able to have some of those plays yourself and to get to contribute to part of that win?
Yeah, it's great to contribute, but at the same time, I gave up a touchdown today, and I feel like that's kind of uncharacteristic of myself. And I definitely didn't help the team in that regards. But at the end of the day, it's all about the whole defense as a whole. Guys were making plays, and just I got to give credits for guys. When I gave up a touchdown and I was mad, just at myself. And, they picked me up, and, they said next play, green light mentality. And, we're just going to make plays and we're going to get it back. So shout out to the whole defense, offense.
What does it mean for you? The Texas Southern game, there was a little bit of margin. Offense got some points there, but the Southern Miss win and this win, it was the defense on the field being tasked. It's like, all right, it's your turn. You need to go win the game. What's that moment like for you as a player? And how fulfilling is it to get to see that come to fruition and close it out?
Yeah, it's just great to get the opportunity, because at the end of the day, we want to be the best defense in the conference. Now, statistically, we're probably not right now, but at the end of the day, it's all about mentality of whatever happened. But, we want that opportunity to go out and win a game. That's something that we pride ourselves as a defense, Coach Smith and the whole staff. Like, we want that opportunity. We want to be the defense that our offense can rely on when times are tough. And, it's just something that, the offense did a great job putting points on the board, and we gave up points. But at the end of the day, like, we got to help each other out, because it's a team game.
On UAB's final possession, they took some shots downfield. This is the game right here, and you guys kept them out of the end zone. Just talk about that, how you're able to do that.
Yeah, just Coach Smith, he's a mastermind, a D coordinator, and he has a lot of trust. We go over this all week. Just we literally practice 2-minute offense and different scenarios where, we got to keep people in bounds. We got to know our leverage. We got to know down and distance, time on the clock. And so we actually got to exercise some of the plays today that we had never used. And so that was kind of cool, because we get the opportunity to, we put in hours and hours talking about certain stuff, and like we finally used one of our calls today, just like keep them in balance. And for example, but at that point in time, we just want to go out on the field and execute, because at the end of the day, that game was on us right there. So yeah, we're just happy about the opportunity, and that's something where adversity strikes, and we want to make a names for ourselves as a whole team.
All right, Naeem, we'll go ahead and wrap up with you. Appreciate your time, and we'll get August up here.
All right, thank you guys, and have a great night.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
All right, August, just real briefly talk about, the time you sat out. You think about getting back in and making plays. I mean, could you have asked for a better game to really have a big comeback from sitting on the sideline?
I mean, I would say, it felt really great, just to go out and, play to my ability against, UAB, a team that's, giving us a hard time, I would say, giving the conference a hard time. Last couple of years, it was definitely, tough being out. Just watching my teammates, work hard every week. I wanted to be out there with them, and it just sucked. I'm happy to be back. Happy that my coaches, had some confidence in me to come to me on some plays, and I was just doing what I had to do with those opportunities.
All right, questions for August?
Hey, August, from your eyes, what was different this week from last week from the offense, from no points to 30 and getting a lot of points in the end zone?
I know, like Naeem said, we talk a lot about, green light mentality. I feel like last week, we had some, some plays just where like, one guy, maybe wasn't doing that 111th. And, it just kind of makes the whole play look bad. So I think this week we just carried that into the game and just came in, playing with our hair on fire, receivers, making their blocks, O-line holding up in protection, running backs running hard. I think we, that's really the biggest difference, I would say, from this week to last week. We just came out fast, and focused on our assignment and just executed.
And how powerful is it for you as an upperclassman and a guy who's been around for a couple years now to kind of ride out some low moments and even last week and to come out and see the offense and see the team being able to accomplish something like this today?
Yeah, I'm so proud of the group, as a whole. Last week was tough because we worked so hard in practice. We practiced really hard week in and week out. And we just, we didn't get those results that we we wanted on last Saturday. So, that was basically the motto this week. We worked too hard to, go out and not perform to our capability. So I feel like, that's what we did. We carried that into the game, and it was, it was nice to see. It was great to see. We had a big explosive return in the by the KOR group. Defense had some takeaways, made big stops when we needed them, and offense, we put up points, and it was a great feeling, great to be a part of today.
And then 5 for 5 on 4th down. In all your years of football, have you ever been a part of an offense that pulled off something that efficient?
No, definitely not on 4th down. I would say I've never been a part of offense that's been that efficient on 4th down.
And then how fun was it?
I mean, it was fun. We work a lot of those, short yardage situations. We pride ourselves on being able to, get those yards when we need them. When we go out and keep the offense on 4th down, we have the utmost confidence that we could make it happen and we should stay out there. And that's what we did today. Proud of the boys. Starts up front.
Well, man, I was going to ask you, how fun was it that a couple of those first downs came on that opening drive, 4th down conversions came on that opening drive. What was it kind of like for you seeing the coaching staff call your guys' number and putting it on you guys to kind of roll the dice and make something happen?
I mean, to have a coach have, the confidence in, you as a player and, all the guys as players, it's great. So, you feel like you want to go out there and just make it happen. Your teammates have confidence in you. The line, I go out and tell them, like, if it's coming to me, y'all protect up, hold up. I'm gonna make it work something. I'm gonna make the play. Y'all give them time and stuff like that. So, it's just a trust. We just selling out for each other. Like Coach talked about Mudita. Just, that's a big thing in our program right now. Just, being happy for other people's success. And with that, just being happy for other people's success, you have some plays you have to sell out, for the next person to, maybe make the play happen. And I think we had a lot of that today. And, it came out in the end, in the results. You can see it in the results.
I know Coach Kershaw tells you guys that you got to make a play when the ball gets in your hands. It seemed like, man, at least half of the passes thrown today were short little slants where you got the ball 5 yards down the field and had to make something happen. What kind of went into that? And then seemed like every single guy that caught the ball was able to rip off a little bit more and then some at that moment. It was kind of on you guys to make those plays.
I mean, we worked a lot of that this week. I feel like the biggest thing as a receiver, it's good to be able to catch the ball. It's good to be able to get open. But, yak, we talk a lot about yak, which is, yards after catch. So, being able to catch the ball and be dynamic and do something with it after the catch is really big. And I feel like we got to do that today. When Wiley was getting flushed out, we did a good job in our scramble drill, just finding lanes, finding open spots on the field, while extending up some plays and finding us. I feel like we just made it happen as a group. I'm proud of my group. As the leader of the group, I'm super proud of the group.
I think we'll call it a day with that one, August. I appreciate it. And gentlemen, we'll be back in touch and see you at the beginning of the week. We'll have to talk about this one some more. We'll see you then.